the other month I held a inner committee meeting. So that was an attempt to quiet and sit with some of the different voices and dialogues, conflicts, arguments, raging, seething, manipulation, whatever we want to call it, that's occurring internally in my mind between different parts. So I'm going to refer to a few things that are kind of like therapy speak, but I personally have never actually done formal study in that. I've never done parts work with this IFS, internal family systems, that kind of stuff. And I'm not even sure if I'm speaking about the right things, but I'm just saying it, how I've experienced it, how I see it, how I frame it internally when I drop into some of these processes. But basically I realised that there was this sort of like inner child figure within me who is really exhausted and sad and unseen and doesn't even know like what it's supposed to be doing and sharing, and it doesn't even know what it's ultimately about. And then there's this like vicious kind of taskmaster figure who is basically like dragging it along by its hair or by its neck, forcing it to work and do and produce and share, you know, because that's what you should do online or something. And again, it's about detaching from the shoulds, detaching from the ideas, the mind's ideas of what it thinks it wants, the mind's ideas of what it thinks it needs to do to get what it thinks it wants. And obviously there's a level of embodiment, there's a layer of being with whatever's coming up in the body and the trauma and the stories that are underneath the stories and the dialogues. But for me it was helpful to engage in this dialogue where I just had a little meditation. I just sort of thought, you know, dropped in with myself, and I thought about what are these different characters, what are they afraid of, like what is this one really afraid of, is it a survival thing, like why is it so urgent, why is this need to do these things so urgent, why is this conflict within so loud. And when that conflict within is like when you feel like I need to do this and you've got a lot of resistance or procrastination, dropping in and doing a little bit of inner dialoguing, however that looks for you, whether it's like I've just got this nasty voice and this pressured voice, I've just got this sad emotion and this angry, impatient emotion, however it looks, whether it's a committee meeting of 10 people, whether it's a fire circle of you know, your inner child and you're the loving adult that is mediating this conversation between your inner child and your outer child, or your inner child and your kind of adolescent who's at school and is like, I need to be choosing what to do with my life and getting ready for exams and all that crap. Just allow yourself, if you're experiencing in a high degree of inner conflict or resistance or procrastination or feeling like you should do things and you don't want to, allow yourself to drop in and tune to whether there is some kind of inner conflict occurring, what those parts that are in conflict might be saying to each other. Allow yourself, as the anchored higher self loving adult that you are, to hold space and mediate between those things, to be the observer of that. And sometimes can bring up some grief, recognition that, bloody hell, like, I'm at war with myself. This is going on, this is exhausting, this stuff that's going on. But allowing yourself a bit of time, whether it's through writing, journaling, whether it's through just sitting in a chair and like, or getting a teddy or something and having the teddy be the part and having an actual kind of like theatrical dialogue with it. Maybe it's speaking it aloud to a guide or a therapist or a friend. Maybe it's doing a drawing, a diagram of the parts, whatever it is, whatever works for you. Allow yourself that time, even if it's just closing your eyes, observing that, wow, there's a lot of chatter here. That's loud. It's quite difficult to know what to do when feel like I'm tearing myself apart from all sides. Underneath that is a whole well of wonder, of stillness, of calm, of knowing. And sometimes that has to get that loud so we're able to recognise it, so we're able to access the gold within, which is just the state of being. We always know. And sometimes the mind's patterns want to... they're just like autopilot. They're just automatically loud, fighting each other, being vicious. That's what they learn to do. It's hard to break a lifetime's worth of patterns of thinking. But it just starts with observing. After observing, after appointing yourself as the observer, you in yourself now as the observer, it might be good to go into some more formal dialoguing, let's say. Thank you.